How often you have heard the expression, "Be still and know." To be still for the purpose of knowing is to think your information back into the light of your inner self until you have stopped thinking. Silent meditation fixes that information into your consciousness as knowledge. Very few people do that. They are quite content with storing vast quantities of information upon their brains. Very few know that they can talk it over with God by thinking it back into His still light, which they also are. Those who do know that acquire great knowledge and power to co-create with God. Thinking is not easy. If you study music for the first time, you will find that out. You will be lucky if in half an hour your brain is not too tired to remember any more. You have only learned a few notes and made a few sounds which are not music. It takes months and months of doing that before you know music well enough to produce music instead of sound. Until that which you read from the notes reaches your very soul, you do not know music, nor can you produce music. For this reason, everyone should bend every effort to make the transition from sensing to knowing, so that his creations can be powerful and masterly interpretations of the light of all knowing, instead of being parrot-like repetitions of memories stored in one's brain, as information is stored in an encyclopedia. It is only through thus adding to our knowledge that we become transformed to a greater awareness of our immortality. Like the little parts of the complex machine that serve their purpose only when they become one whole, so do we know our purpose on this journey only when we are enabled to forget our separateness by knowing the whole. A man with a certain name lives at a certain address and thinks of himself as separate and apart from all creation. A brook comes from the sea by way of the heavens. It seems to be a unit which is separated from everything else, but it is forever connected with the heavens and the sea. We do not see the connection between the heavens and the brook, but they are there, nevertheless, forever connected. Though we cannot see the connection, we can know it. Likewise, man cannot see his connection with his source in the universal sea of light, but he can know it. That is the very essence of the transition man is now undergoing, which will transform him into a higher being. The transformation will come through man's greater awareness of the light within him. The more man becomes transformed through knowledge of the light, the more he knows that his purpose in life is to find God in order to become one with Him. Now, the second lecture, the law of balance. The law of balance is the law of love upon which the universe is founded. This law is given to man for his coming renaissance of greater comprehension. It is, of all laws, the most inclusive and the most simple. It consists of but 3 words. These 3 words are the very foundation of all our material existence. All phenomena of matter are interchanged between humans, economically, socially, and spiritually. I will read to you from the Divine Illiad. Great art is simple. My universe is great art, for it is simple. Great art is balanced. My universe is consummate art, for it is balance, simplicity. My universe is one in which many things have majestic measure, and again another many have measure too fine for sensing. Yet I have not one law for majestic things, and another law for things which are beyond the sensing. I have but one law for all my opposed pairs of creating things, and that law needs but one word to spell it out. So hear me when I say that the one word of my one law, is balance. And if man needs 2 words to aid him in knowing of the workings of that law, these words are balanced interchange. If man still needs more words to aid his knowing of my one law, give to him another one, and let those 3 words be rhythmic, balanced interchange. Okay. Balance is the foundation of all human relations, of the universe itself. The stars of heaven move in obedience to it. They cannot do otherwise. Cosmic disaster of untold dimension would follow such disobedience. The starry universe is so absolute in its balance that the movement of a dewdrop on any one planet necessitates the readjustment of the orbits of all the stars of heaven to that microscopic event. Because of that law, all happenings are universal. Any action anywhere is extended for repetition everywhere. All motion is as omnipresent as the light of God is omnipresent. All effect is universal. God is balance. From the stillness of his balance in the unconditioned one light, he extends his balance to the conditioned universe of motion as 2 opposite unbalanced conditions of 2 lights, which seek balance through each other. Oppositely conditioned pairs in nature seek balance through each other by repeatedly giving all that each has to give to the other in rhythmic sequences. In nature, this process continues perpetually because in nature, all givings of one are perpetually balanced by equal re-givings of the other. Nature never takes that which is not given. This universe is founded upon love as manifested in the giving of one opposite to the other for re-giving. The earth gives its forests to the heavens, and the heavens give them back again to earth for equal re-givings. Every dewdrop given by the heavens is equally re-given to the heavens by the earth. Equal interchange between opposite conditions manifest the love principle of balance, upon which God's universal body is founded. Whatever is true of God's universal body is true of man's body. It is the equality of balance between the giving and re-giving of nature which makes its transactions perpetual. The lack of the love principle of rhythmic balanced interchange in the transactions of men is the reason for the ills of the body and for the disasters which make continuance of relations between men impossible. The seller of goods is also a buyer. If the seller gives less to his customers than the value of what he charges, he deprives his customers of the ability to re-give that which the seller needs to again become a seller. By sacrificing the goodwill which is the foundation of continuance in any business, the love principle has been subtracted from the transaction in the measure of inequality of interchange. Neither man nor nation can continue an interchange of relations upon a harmonious basis of multiplying power when the universal love principle is violated. The law of balance is absolute. He who breaks that law will be equally broken by it. If each of the 2 conditions which forms the basis for every transaction between pairs of opposites in nature can be kept in balance with the other, the resultant effect is good. When they are out of balance with each other, the resultant effect is bad. Good and bad, sin and evil. Measure the degree in which all pairs of oppositely conditioned effects of motion are either in balance with each other or out of it. In all our human relations, we ourselves make our own good and bad, our evils and sins, by our desires and decisions to act either in or out of balance with universal law. There is no sin or evil in nature, for nature observes the law of balance. Every unbalanced effect in nature is balanced by its opposite unbalanced effect. The play of creation consists of dividing all ideal into 2 opposite parts.